Mukhtar Ansari. Mukhtar Ansari's body will be handed over to his son Umar Ansari after the post-mortem. Ansari was rushed to the Rani Durgavati Medical College in Banda on Thursday night in an unconscious condition after he complained of vomiting. A medical bulletin from the hospital said a team of 9 doctors attended on him, but he died of cardiac arrest. The end came just 2 days after Ansari was taken to hospital following a similar health emergency. He was, however, discharged and then taken back to jail. His family had then alleged that Ansari was being poisoned in jail. A prison department statement had denied the charge. Talking about the security now, security has been tightened in Banda, Mao, Ghazipur and Varanasi districts following Ansari's death. Section 144 has been imposed across the state as a precautionary measure. Ansari's death comes just weeks ahead of Lok Sabha elections. It is expected to echo across the region, especially the Purvanchal belt, where he held sway as a gangster and politician through the 1980s and 90s. Like Atiq Ahmed, the other gangster politician from Uttar Pradesh who was killed outside a hospital in Prayagraj last year, Mukhtar Ansari too belonged to a system that allowed caste and clan-based gangs to compete, often violently, for political influence and government contracts. Ansari had over 60 criminal cases against him and had spent the last 18 years in jail in Punjab and Uttar Pradesh. The most prominent of the murders he was accused of was that of former BJP MLA Krishnanand Rai in the year 2005. Mukhtar Ansari was elected to the assembly 5 times from Mao. His son Abbas is the sitting MLA from the seat and represents the Suheldev Bharatiya Samaj Party of Om Prakash Rajbhar, who's allied to the ruling BJP in Uttar Pradesh. The Samajwadi Party has issued a condolence on the social media site X. The politics and controversy over Ansari's death may continue. For those wondering what is happening, political tug-of-war has already begun over Ansari's death. Samajwadi Party leader IP Singh has posted on social media that he fears for the safety of his party veteran Azam Khan. He took to platform X, formerly Twitter. There we're going to show you IP Singh's tweet very shortly, right on your screens there. He's in fact appealed that Azam Khan should be shifted to a jail in another state. Now, he's not the only one there. Tejasvi Yadav, RJD leader, also took to X to condole Mukhtar Ansari's death. He has demanded a probe into allegations that Ansari was being poisoned in jail. Now, Tejasvi Yadav isn't the only one. Several politicians, including Tejasvi Yadav, AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi, Bahujan Samaj Party chief Mayawati have called for a probe into the dreaded gangster's family's allegations. They have alleged that he was being poisoned in jail. My colleague Rupesh in fact spoke to Mukhtar Ansari's elder brother. Let's take a listen.
उनको मारने की एक साजिश हो रही है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक में और हाई कोर्ट तक में लिख दिया गया है। क्यों आपको ये अंदेशा था कि कुछ उनके साथ गड़बड़ हो सकता है?
अब अंदेशा तो सच में बदल गया। क्यों कहा जाए कि क्यों नहीं था, ऐसी सब रिपोर्टें मिल रही थी और वही सत्य हुआ। झूठे वादे किए गए कि उनकी पूरी सुरक्षा की व्यवस्था की जा रही है। आज से 1.5 महीना पहले जेल कर्मियों ने जो उनका खाना चखा था वो सब के सब हॉस्पिटलाइज हुए थे। तो बात तो थी ही, लेकिन अब उनकी मौत इसी तरह ऊपर वाले ने शहादत की लिखी थी। हमारे धर्म के अनुसार किसी को अगर जहर दे के मारा जाए तो शहीद होता है। शहीद से अच्छी कोई मौत नहीं होती।
तो आप पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट का इंतजार किए बगैर ये मानकर चल रहे हैं कि उनकी शहादत हुई है, यानी उनको जहर देकर ही मारा गया?
पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट कहाँ क्या आती है? उस दिन पहले दिन हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट हुए, ब्लड रिपोर्ट सब नॉर्मल ला दी गई। पेट उनका आज भी गुब्बारे की तरफ फूला हुआ है। ऑपरेशन की सारी तैयारी के बाद ऑपरेशन नहीं करने दिया गया। तो सब क्या है, ये तो साफ जग जाहिर है।
Let's go across to Sharda Prasad, former Director, National Crime Records Bureau and former DGP Assam. He joins me to discuss more on this. I'm also joined by Bhanuchandra Nagarajan. He's a political analyst. A very good morning to you, Mr. Prasad. I'll start by asking you, the opposition parties have called for a probe into the death of Mukhtar Ansari, who alleged that he was given slow poison while in UP jail. Now, this is a very serious allegation. Will it be investigated?
You see, point is that Mr. Mukhtar Ansari was in jail custody. So he has been in jail for more than a decade. So whether he is a detainee, whether he is a under trial prisoner or whether he is a convict, happens to be in the custody of the state. So therefore, if any death occurs in the custody of the state, then the state is responsible to show that nothing has gone wrong and everything is in a natural way. So whether opposition demands or does not demand, it is the duty of the state government to ensure that there is a proper probe. And I'm very much satisfied that I think state government has already ordered for a 3-member inquiry committee to go into the matter. And of course, as you have said, that there will be a postmortem, and after postmortem, the dead body will be handed over to the relatives. So we have to believe in postmortem. I mean, before postmortem has been held, and without going through the process of it, we cannot be condemning it. Okay.
All right, Bhanu, I'm quickly going to take this reaction from you, and I want to give you to give a detailed answer. Why has Ansari's death become a political issue?
Ansari, during his lifetime, was known for his communal politics in the Purvanchal region, mostly in the Mao-Azamgarh region, but also all of Purvanchal. Even after his death, his death also has triggered communal politics, given that elections are nearby. And all the, you saw reactions from Samajwadi Party, Congress, and other parties that are wooing the Muslim vote bank, right? So I think these guys want to take advantage of the sympathy wave, or if at all there is any, to prove that they are the takedars of Muslim welfare. So I think even after his death, his communal politics continues. See, like what the previous gentleman was saying, Ansari was in custody for a very long time, from 2005, probably 17 years. So suddenly a poisoning happening is something, that seems out of the ordinary. Obviously, like the post-mortem report will bring the truth out, but I think it's something that is out of the ordinary. Along with his death and death of Atiq Ansari, the era of Bahubali politics that took sway in all of Purvanchal over a long period of time, it has come to a final end. And I think Purvanchal is a very different place right now. It is one of the engines of development, with both the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh coming from that area, a lot of development projects happening. But Ansari's life has been one of political. He started as a gangster with political patronage. His uncle was former Vice President Hamid Ansari. He comes from that stable, but he got elected as a BSP MLA, I think 5 times as BSP, and also as an independent 5 times at different points. So he has a political clout. In fact, the one that I remember the most was when he was a political activist. He contested in Varanasi in 2009, and only the last minute counter mobilization saved Murali Manohar Joshi from losing. So I think he has a hold in Purvanchal politics, and I think he has his supporters. But what people are doing right now is communal politics as elections are closing.
Right. Bhanu, continue to stay with us. Mr. Prasad, we're going to come right back to you after this short break. Stay with us.
Start with the end in mind. You need to know where you want to reach. Every morning that we wake up, we are exercising our choice. The destiny is decided. The results are known that I'm going to win. Life of a goalkeeper is something which has always intrigued me. when you come into a stadium. This is the highest level of pressure. When I set out to do something, I decide in my mind that failure is not an option.
What you feel very strongly about, those are the stories to tell.
I have a mind which is absolutely restless. Mind and body are entangled sensations. That brings me back to golf. It's an amazing game.
This is not a perfect game. You only learn from them.
If you have a formula to a success, then you can replicate it.
I feel this is my first step. I'm starting now.
Winner is first born in the mind. I think, therefore I am. We are all about our mind.
This and more. Streaming on News9, plus subscribe and get free vouchers.
Welcome back. For those who have just joined us wondering what is happening, Don, gangster-turned-politician Mukhtar Ansari is dead. Now, I'll come back to you, Mr. Prasad. You know, as Bhanu said, that this entire scene seems to be out of the ordinary. You know, why I'm saying this? Last year, Atiq Ahmed was killed outside a hospital in Prayagraj. Now, you know, Mukhtar has died in jail. Earlier in 2020, gangster Vikas Dubey was shot dead. People will see a pattern there, isn't it?
That's correct. This one, at least in eastern UP,
Events.
Yeah, I think like this, especially a member of the minority community, especially in the areas where minority population.
बड़ी संख्या में अगर आ गए हैं, और ये जो मोहम्मदाबाद है, मोहम्मदाबाद की हर गली में या ये जो फाटक है, यहाँ पर पुख्ता इंतजाम किए गए हैं एहतियातन। आज शुक्रवार भी है, जुम्मे की नमाज भी है, लेकिन TV9 भारतवर्ष से ये के माध्यम से लोगों से ये अपील की है, मुख्तार अंसारी के समर्थकों से भी, उनके चाहने वालों से भी, जो बड़ी संख्या में यहाँ पर इकट्ठे हो गए थे, और उनसे ये कहा कि ना तो वो धरना देने जा रहे हैं, ना वो प्रदर्शन करने जा रहे हैं, और ना ही वो किसी तरह का विरोध करने जा रहे हैं। अल्लाह को जो मंजूर था वही हुआ है। उनका भाई मुख्तार अंसारी शेर की तरह जिया है और शेर की तरह ही मर गया। अल्लाह सबका हिसाब करेगा, लेकिन लोगों से सब्र, धैर्य और शांति बनाए रखने की अपील की है। लेकिन दूसरी तरफ प्रशासन ने एहतियातन सुरक्षा के इंतज़ाम भी किए हैं, और लगातार सुबह से ही, या यूं कहें कि देर रात से ही, हर गली में, चौक चौराहे या पुलिस को अलर्ट रखा गया है। लेकिन मैं फिर कह रहा हूं कि TV9 भारतवर्ष से एक्सक्लूसिव बातचीत करते हुए मरहूम मुख्तार अंसारी के बड़े भाई सिबतुल्लाह अंसारी ने कहा कि लोगों से, कि जो उनके समर्थक हैं, जो उनके चाहने वाले हैं, जो मुख्तार अंसारी को अपना रहनुमा समझते हैं, उनसे ये अपील है कि वो सब्र बनाए रखें।
नहीं, मैं भी इधर पिछले कुछ दिनों से मैं देख रहा था, वो बार बार कोर्ट से भी इस बात की गुहार कर रहा था कि मुझको धीमा जहर दिया जा रहा है, या मुझे यहाँ पे दवाएं नहीं दी जा रही, चिकित्सा सुविधा नहीं दे रहे थे। ये केवल उसका डर का जो एक वहम होता है ना, वो था, और उस डर, इतना हावी वो डर हो गया इसके ऊपर कि कल हार्ट अटैक के रूप में इसकी मौत हुई है। जो डर का साम्राज्य जिसने लोगों पे कायम किया था, सरकार जब बदली है, निजाम बदला है, तो वो डर अब इसके ऊपर हावी हो गया, क्योंकि अब कोई पॉलिटिकल सपोर्ट तो था नहीं इसको, न सरकार का संरक्षण था, न पुलिस का संरक्षण। जो पुलिस को ये कुछ समझता नहीं था। मऊ के दंगों में आपने देखा, खुली जीप में घूमता था, पुलिस के अधिकारियों पर गोली चला देता था, मार देता था। तो वो जब सब कुछ खत्म हो गया, वो संरक्षण नहीं मिलना इसको बंद हो गया, मतलब एक तरह से, तो इसके फिर डर वापस इसके ऊपर हावी हो गया, और वो तिल तल करके एक तरह से, जिसको कहते हैं ना मरना, उस तरह से ये जेल में रहा है। और अंतिम परिणति आपने देखा कि हार्ट अटैक के रूप में कल इसकी मौत हो गई।
Prasad, you know, I have two questions for you, but I would begin by asking you, how challenging are such situations for the security forces?
You're asking me?
Mr. Prasad, I'm asking you, yes.
Yeah. You see, it's a very challenging times, and most important is that elections first phase has almost, you can say, a beginning has already been made. So this is the time where ballot papers will be, what you call, the EVMs will be ready, the names will be entered into, and all the election processes will be going on. And it is at that hour that this thing has taken place. And we should not forget that Mr. Mukhtar Ansari had represented the constituency 5 times. So obviously he must be having some sort of support, because after all, you see, whatever we call him, he has come out from a democratic process, which others have also come out through and say that they are respectable. And even I understand that even now the constituency is held by his son. So certain popular support they are bound to be having. So it is for that reason that the state government must take all the precautionary measures. And as I said, they should take into custody all the antisocial elements and put them inside, at least for the time the elections are completed in that area. It's a very challenging time. The forces are already deployed for normal duties and duties relating to election. And now over and above, this is additional work which is required, but it cannot be ignored. So for state government, I would say it's a testing time, and I hope that they will come out successful in it. Thank you.
Free to stay with us. Bhanu, I'll come to you. आप उत्तर प्रदेश में पहले में और अभी में क्या बदलाव देखते हैं? You know, I'd like to ask you the same question, Mr. Prasad, but you know, a little bit more detailed. But Bhanu, I'd like you to answer. What changes do you really see?
See, in the context of what's happening today, UP was, especially Purvanchal area, Eastern UP was the Badlands, was the mafia Badlands. Mukhtar Ansari grew up in the era of when government contracts were given out, and there was a lot of corruption, and they need the contractors, extortion of contractors, and in some cases protection of contractors, then the associated killings and kidnappings. And that was the era of politics in UP till what 15 years ago. So I think he came from a very illustrious political family. As I told you, like his grandfather was the
can you
president
imagine?
of Indian National Congress. His uncle was the vice president of India. So he has
absolutely, Bhanu. His father was a freedom fighter. I mean, beat that.
Yes. Yeah. So so you see what has become of them. So, and then he was patronized by other political parties, DSP, and then he had his own clout. So I think, thankfully that era of politics is over, and Eastern UP is in the path of development. I think if you could imagine, some of the cases were filed way back in the 1970s, and the legal system was so scared that they were not willing to file charges. Only after Yogi Adityanath became chief minister, there was fast tracking of many of these cases, and action was taken. And in the case of the other Don Atik Ahmed, some of his properties were bulldozed using the bulldozer, and around 1,400 crores of properties and shell companies were 1,400 crores worth of properties were attached. So I think the cleaning up of the system started happening only very recently. So that was the state of affairs then, and that's the state of affairs is getting changed. Not only in Eastern UP, all of UP is changing. The face of the UP is getting changed because of the various development projects, and the law and order significantly has improved. If you ask anybody, or even if you travel through UP, you will see that there is a significant amount of improvement in the overall governance. So I think that is the change that has happened in the last 7-8 years. But I think Atik Ahmed's and Mukhtar Ansari's death actually will make people remember the bad times to realize what they have written.
Right. Mr. Prasad, do you agree with Bhanu's assessment? I'd like you to hold on to that thought. I'm going to quickly come back to you. But before that, we also have Omar Ansari, Mukhtar Ansari's son's reaction. Let's listen in.
मैंने चेहरा देखा है सिर्फ, और जो हम लोगों को पापा ने खुद बताया है उसके मुताबिक यही है कि उनको स्लो पॉइजन दिया जा रहा है, जिसको वो कई बार से माननीय न्यायालयों में, बल्कि अब तो सारे देश में सब मीडिया के माध्यम से सबको ये बात जा चुका है, पूरा परिवार है और खुद हमारे फादर इस बात की हमें जहर दिया जा रहा है, लेकिन कहाँ सुना, क्या सुना।
let's go across to Mr. Sharda Prasad, who is ex-DGP Assam. Mr. Sharda Prasad, ये काफी serious allegation है. पॉइजन दे दिया गया है, कोई छोटी सी चीज नहीं है, बहुत बड़ी एलिगेशन है जो मुख्तार अंसारी के घर वाले जो हैं दे आर लेवलिंग. अब आई वांट टू आस्क यू, स्टैंडर्ड ऑपरेटिंग प्रोसीजर्स क्या होते हैं इन केसेस ऑफ कस्टोडियल डेथ्स?
पहली बात तो कि जो उन्होंने कहा कि उनको स्लो पॉइजन दिया गया, मैं कहूंगा कि इसकी संभावना नहीं होती है, क्योंकि जो प्रिजन के अंदर का एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है वो ज्यादातर जो एक कमेटी होती है वो कमेटी के जिम्मे होता है, उसमें जेल के बड़े अफसरों का हाथ नहीं है. और ऐसा कोई नहीं करेगा कि एक खाना बनाएगा जिसमें से जो है किसी एक पर्टिकुलर डेटेन्यू या कन्विक्ट के खाने के ऊपर में कोई पॉइजन छिड़क दिया जाएगा. ऐसा बेसिर पैर का बातें करना भी सही नहीं है, लेकिन चूंकि एक एलिगेशन लगा है इसलिए पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट तो बनेगी ही, उसमें से क्लियर हो जाएगा. और अगर फिर भी कोई डाउट है तो विसरा प्रिजर्व किया जाता है और फोरेंसिक साइंस लेबोरेटरीज को भेजा जाता है, जहां पर उसकी एनालिसिस करके ये बिल्कुल क्लियर हो जाता है. अगर स्लो पॉइजन भी दिया जाएगा, चाहे एक बहुत ही माइन्यूट क्वांटिटी में दिया गया होगा, तब भी वो निकल के आ जाएगा. और मेरी थोड़ी जानकारी इस विषय में है क्योंकि आई वाज हेडिंग द फोरेंसिक साइंस लेबोरेटरीज एज ए डायरेक्टर ऑफ इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ फोरेंसिक साइंस. तो इसकी जो डिटेल जानकारी है वो मुझे है कि अगर बहुत ही स्लो पॉइजन दिया गया तब भी वो डिटेक्ट होगा. उसके लिए मशीनें हैं और विसरा अवश्य उन्होंने प्रिजर्व किया होगा. और मुझे नहीं लगता कि ऐसी, लेकिन फिर भी जैसा कि स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने कहा है कि दे हैव ऑलरेडी कॉन्स्टिट्यूटेड ए 3-member कमिटी टू गो इनटू द डेथ. एंड नेचुरली जैसे कि हम पुलिस डेथ में एक इंक्वेस्ट करते हैं, उसी तरह जेल में भी जब डेथ होती है इस तरह की, तो वहां पर एक फैक्ट फाइंडिंग कमेटी होती है जो कि अवश्य ही उसको देखेगी. इसलिए उस पर ज्यादा अभी शक करने की गुंजाइश नहीं है. मैं एक दूसरे विषय पर भी बोलना चाहूंगा जो कि आपने उठाया था, बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग सब्जेक्ट था कि उत्तर प्रदेश में अभी आप चेंजेस क्या देख रहे हैं.
मिस्टर प्रसाद, मैंने ये भी बोला था कि मैं आपसे भी ये सवाल पूछूंगी, लेकिन एक बहुत डिटेल्ड मैनर में. I'd like you to answer that. Just hold on to your thoughts. I'm going to quickly come back to you after this short break. Stay with us.
Forty countries, 1,000 multilingual bookstalls, 1.25 lakh people, one destination, the New Delhi World Book Fair 2024.
So it's a great honour to be here. Thank you to the National Book Trust and those that have embraced us over recent days.
I was at the London Book Fair once and I had not participated here.